Hey guys, Troy here, back with another video today. Today we're going to be talking about sports card prices, but more specifically where I see them going in 2021. Now, a bunch of people have been talking about this, and usually I don't find it very helpful for me to just sit up here and talk about, oh, well, here's what I think of this. That doesn't really help you guys, but I do think there's a couple specifics we can look at that could help inform your sports card investing in 2021, and also some, real data, real historical trends and other stuff going on in the world that can help us predict what is going to happen in 2021. So the first person who kind of inspired me to make this video was a guy called Sasha T. He does sports card vlogs where it shows his day-to-day, where he's going and making deals and talking about what he thinks and on the phone. It's really cool. It's a different style of sports card video, but I really enjoy it. So if that sounds interesting to you, definitely check it out. But he was kind of talking about what's happening with so many people being involved with modern and ultra modern stuff, like your Zion, investing in these type of guys, and how he really is personally, and thinks other people should too, kind of move some of that money that you're making on these younger guys and move it into more stable players like a LeBron or like a Kobe or something like that. And I 100% agree with him. And to be clear, he's not saying, someone even says in the video, like, oh yeah, I wouldn't even touch Zion, I would never invest. And he's like, I'm not saying don't invest in Zion, but just be careful and also do your best to kind of use those profits that you get from those guys that you're only holding for a short amount of time and roll it into some more stable cards. I've said it before and I'll say it again. The smartest thing to do, buy LeBron Topps Chrome, MJ Fleer, stick it in a vault, and never look at it again. But that's not what I'm here to do in the hobby. I don't think you guys are here to do this either. You definitely wouldn't be on the channel. But I do think, like you said, it's very wise, especially in 2021. I think that gap is gonna widen. The gap between, the GOATs and these players who haven't accomplished really anything at all, it's not as big as it should be right now. And that kind of leads me into something else he said. These institutional investors, these fractional ownership types are buying up all the GOATs, all their nice stuff, and the prices of those are really gonna rise. I mean, even just from my personal experience, I had my friend Darius on here. Go check that video out if you haven't already, where he's talking about him and his company buying the 2 most expensive basketball cards of all time. And I'm not gonna label them a fractional ownership company because I don't think that's what they are, but I'm not affiliated with them, so I'm not speaking for them. But the point is, it's not just them. There's a ton of companies and people coming in who are buying up this nicer stuff and thinking of ways, how can we kind of split this or have people invest in a fund or all these type of things. And I think it's 100% right. It's only common sense that will cause the nicer stuff of the GOATs and even just the regular stuff to rise. So once again, to be very clear, that's not me saying don't invest in any young players. That's not fun. And I also, to an extent, I don't think it's smart to totally disregard that. But don't be caught holding them. And also just think about, especially in this new year, as maybe you guys are building up your collections and maybe your capital, rolling some of that stuff into more stable guys who have accomplished a lot already and will definitely hold value over time. The next person who kind of inspired this, or I took something from, was actually the Hobbies favorite, the Hobbies' very own sports card investor. And he actually had a really good point when he was talking about what was going to happen with sports cards going forward, but he was talking about fantasy sports and sports gambling, how those didn't used to be the biggest things and now they've become really big markets. And he basically just said, why does it have to end? When you talk about sports gambling or fantasy sports, nobody says like, oh, those are going to end, they're just going to disappear. Why isn't it the same thing with sports card investing? And I think he's right. I mean, definitely in any market, right? There's going to be hot periods and cooling off periods. The sports card market is hot right now, especially basketball cards. And there will be a time, maybe in the near future, where that isn't the case anymore. I mean, I think at the very least, we will kind of see that mid-season lull that's always happened. It happened in football where the prices kind of come down and people start transitioning to more of like a playoff mindset. Even guys I own, like Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, who's starting to turn things around, or if you own one of these hot rookies, their cards are just not going to go straight up for 5 months. That's not how it works. So just keep that in mind and be aware of that and think about maybe you already yourself shifting to more of a playoff mindset with your basketball cards. But back more to his point, this is not something, at least he thinks, and I think, is something that's gonna end. People talk about, oh, I can't believe People are buying Lucas for this amount when they were selling for 20 bucks 2 years ago. I just think those days of buying slab cards of these big time guys for 20 bucks, they're gone. And the professionalization of sports card investing has definitely brought some bad things to the hobby 100%. But I think in terms of setting that new floor for where stuff isn't going to go below, I think it's done that. I really do think what we saw 2 years ago, those days are gone. That doesn't mean everything's just going to be on fire and going up, up, up forever. But I do think things have changed, and professionalization, similar to daily fantasy sports or sports gambling, has created a whole new thriving market that's at least going to be relevant for a while. But yes, getting more into specifics of what do I actually think is going to happen in 2021. I talked more big picture, but I think, like I said, basketball midseason lull. Those cards of the hot young guys on teams who are maybe not going to have as much playoff success, it's not going to go straight up. So people are going to be transitioning more to guys like Kawhi, speculating more on the playoffs and team success. Like I said, those guys are not just going to go up forever. So I think we will see that midseason lull in basketball and then heat up a little bit towards the playoffs. But I'm definitely going to sound like a broken record on this one. I think the soccer card market is going to continue to grow and increase in 2021. I mean, Slab Stocks posted a post today. Mbappe Prism PSA 10 was around $500 just about less than a month ago. And now these are inching up and probably going to hit 1,000 any day now. We also have Messi Prism cards and Ronaldo Prism cards increasing. And it's only a matter of time, or probably already happening, that all the Prism cards are going to increase. It was an overreaction to send those to the moon, but it was also an overreaction to send those all the way back down. And whether you believe in Prism or not, there's definitely merits of it, but there's also reasons why it shouldn't be as important of a set. The rest of the soccer market is going to follow that. So I see all the other stuff heading up, especially towards the Euros. And then once the Euros are over, people are going to realize, okay, it's only a year towards the World Cup. And I think there's going to be a ton of excitement in the soccer card market in 2021 because of that, especially on the top guys. And, you know, I talked about moving it into these proven legends, those type of guys, and there's merit to that. And you should be looking to do that in 2021. But also at the same time, this market is changing, and I think all markets are changing. I mean, you can ask anyone, people who have been invested in sports cards forever. Oh, Taylor Horton Tucker, one preseason game, that's not enough to move prices. That's not how it works. Well, that's how it works now, actually. And you see it in all markets. I mean, Tesla, Bitcoin. Fundamentally, those things should not have gone up to where they did. There's no way. And I always say, don't fight the hype. Understand it. And if you can, utilize it. I mean, even on these big time stock market shows where, you know, these guys who are managing big time hedge funds, all these type of things, the way young people and the markets are changing, where things are more reactionary, things are moving faster. It's not as fundamental in a sense. That's here to stay, and that's shaping the way they make decisions at a high level. And I think we should do that across all markets, especially in the sports card market. So it's all a balance at the end of the day. But going into 2021, just consider the things I talked about. Just plan ahead. Always have a plan. Think about where things are going. Don't totally abandon, flipping. This isn't a flipping channel, but, do some of that stuff. But also keep in mind how things might change in 2021. But actually, on that note, the last thing I'll leave you with that I've said before, but don't go chasing though. That's really the way I think you'll get burned in 2021. If you're like, oh, basketball's so hot. Oh my God, it exploded. It's so hot right now. I need to dump all my money into basketball. Or this particular player had a great game. I need to buy. He went up 50%. I need to buy right now. Have some foresight, think ahead, see some of these external factors coming in kind of affecting the sports card market. And I think at the very least in 2021, we'll continue to have a healthy market and you guys will be fine. But all right, guys, that's it. That's just my opinion. I really hope you enjoyed. If you did, please make sure to like and comment down below, subscribe to the channel, and we're going to keep the videos coming. Thanks again.